Daniel, to win a game like this that turns into a track meet, you have to have a superstar quarterback to win it. And that's what he is. He was fantastic in the game. That's an awesome defense that he's playing. That defense is really good. Seeing them in person, they're very complete. They have front rushers. They have second-level players that can run. They're doing a really nice job coaching the secondary. JJ and T. Hill have really stabilized that group. So they got a lot of players. And for us to play like we did today, it starts with Justin. But like I told the team in there, the reason why he's being able to, play the way he's capable of playing is because he has a really good team around him. Our offensive line was outstanding today. Our receivers, tight ends, and backs were fantastic. And then what that does is allows him to go be who we all know he is. But you cannot win a game like that if you don't have a player like Justin Herbert.
At any level of football that you've been involved in, have you ever been involved in a fourth quarter like that?
Yes, but it doesn't make it, like any less stressful. So I was proud of our team. In the National Football League, you're going to play all sorts of different games. Some of them are going to be low scoring, or maybe it's 10-3, 10-6, something like that, and it's a slugfest. Other games are like today, where they turn into a track meet, okay? And what you have to be able to do as a team is play the game as it expresses itself. And what we needed was our offense to score today. And then what we needed from our defense is to get stops when we needed to, and that's what we did today. We did enough on defense to be able to win, all right? And then offensively, okay, that second half was fantastic. And really proud of our entire team for winning that game because it took every man in that room to win it. I felt all the powder blues. This is a big game, as you guys know. With the Latino heritage type of game. And, what we're trying to do here is earn respect every time we go out. And today was a great chance against a really good team. Kevin's doing a great job with that team. They have a lot of good players, and they're going to be there at the end. What you got to be able to do is you got to be able to beat good teams in this league. And I felt like to be able to do it in front of our home crowd, hopefully that draws even more in the next game. But we're proud of our fans, and look forward to seeing a lot more powder blue as the season goes on.
Coach, you guys had a great defensive stop with a 2:02 remaining. How important was clock management, and what were some of the strategies that you guys discussed leading into that scoring drive?
Yeah, we knew that we needed to get down and really good run defenses. We kind of felt like, hey, these are the run defenses that can get us a stop here. And that's what we did on first and second down. On third down, we had a really good rush plan, and we're able to deny the ball. And, what ended up happening in that game was they've got really good backs, and they've got a really good interior O-line, and they've got really good tight ends. And so what happens is when you get a little bit off the first level, and then you get a little bit off in the second level, and you don't start tackling, and one guy does this and one guy does that, then what happens is you're all out of rhythm. All right, so what we tried to do at the end of the game was just get our guys into rhythm with good run structures that they were confident in, and that's part of the adjustments that you have to make in the game when you're not playing well. All right, what can we go execute to get us a stop? I'm really proud of our defensive coaching staff, and I'm proud of our defensive players for rallying up together, and that's what you got to do. You got to have that type of resilience to be able to get your act together, and that's what we did at the end of the game.
What did you see from Austin Eckler on that final scoring drive?
Yeah, Lindsay, Austin's one of these guys that's the ultimate competitor. What you can do is you can activate him in the passing game and in the running game to really give you an advantage depending on how people are playing you. And I feel like he showcased both of those things. The other thing about him is that fumble at the end of the half, he's one of these guys that's going to bounce back and make something happen for your team. And I was proud of him because, you have a fumble like that, and sometimes that can kill your spirit, but not his. And I felt like we needed all of his production today. And I felt like he ran the football really well, too. We were close on a couple runs, but he had 2 touchdowns. And then in the passing game, another touchdown catch. So, 3 touchdowns, and then we needed all of that in the passing game because against a rush that's that good, you got to find your backs, all right, for some breathers out there when the pocket's chaos. So really proud of him.
The final touchdown, assuming you wanted him to
Yes.
go down, what did you make of the Browns picking him up?
Yeah, I got to get a ruling there. It was my interpretation that you can't be pulled in, right? So you can see that Austin is clearly trying to go down. It was 32 duo alert no mas, which is to get down. So I feel like I need to get an interpretation on that, but certainly did not want to go in on that one.
Brandon, in that situation, wouldn't it be easier to just have Justin take a knee?
You can. Yeah, that's one way to go. But we felt like we would go the 32 duo, all right, and then force a timeout and then go from there. But we were planning to finish the ball without any time left, but that's just not the way it happened.
You guys obviously won, but Vizcaíno missing that extra point to tie it up potentially 42-42. What do you tell him, and what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, just keep it moving. I mean, we were going to need him to possibly finish the game, you know. So I think with Tristan, you guys that cover the team, we're going to have to deal with some of this. He's a young kicker in the league. He's got a fantastic kickoff leg. And as a kicker, he needs to be in a lot of those situations to make sure that he gets his rhythm and timing. And, you know, he missed 2 today, and that was disappointing. But what we need him to do is bounce back. And he's a talented guy, and he's just like a lot of young players in the league, is you have to stay patient because he's good enough, okay? If he wasn't good enough, then it would be a totally different story. But he's good enough, and we got to stay patient with him.
Is there a point, though, where the growing pains are too much? Like, you obviously have a good football team, you're 4-1,
Sure.
Making kicks is important. Does it reach a point where it's untenable?
You know, Daniel, it's a great point, and that's certainly something that to address down the road. It's a point well taken for sure, and we do have a good team. But I think he's going to be part of our good team. So we got to stick with him for now, and I have a lot of confidence in him, and that's why I'm talking about it. I'm not just saying that. I really believe in the guy.
Does a game like this showcase the evolution of Mike at receiver?
Yeah, the thing about Mike Williams, and you know, we've been kind of on this since we got here. You know, everybody that's talking to you guys, this guy's a fantastic receiver. He's a complete receiver. And the guy can beat you in the deep part of the field. He can beat you in the first and second level. He can move throughout the formation. And what you're seeing is a guy that when you need to win, all right, he can. All right, and the guy's a clutch player. And, you know, I'm just super proud of him because the guy's worked really hard. He stayed patient, all right? And like I told you guys, sometimes it goes on for guys at different times in the league, and sometimes you got to join up with the right people, and you know, timing and all these factors come into play, and they're all kind of in play. We've got a really good offensive line that's blocking well for him. We've got a bunch of weapons around him, and then we've got a quarterback, all right, that's really unique. So I'm just super proud of him, and we're going to need all that production. I mean, we needed all 165 today and 2 touchdowns for us to win.
Just in terms of battling against that pass rush, obviously the protection plan, you're chipping a lot. But just overall, how did you feel like that all unfolded there in terms of defending Myles Garrett?
I thought guys battled. You know, I want to tip my cap to Storm Norton. He had a baby yesterday. It was a very unique time for him and his wife. And this guy got to the hotel late last night, and you know, blocking one of the best rushers in all of football, one of the best defensive players in all of football. And I thought that it was a really team operation today. It's not going to be like there's a bunch of clean pockets there, okay? Sometimes when they know it's passed, it's going to be crowded, and I thought Justin did a nice job being strong with the football. I felt like he made some plays with his legs, guys. They were playing some split safety man, and he was able to use his legs on some of those third downs to get some first downs with his feet, buy some time. We drew some PIs thanks to him escaping and then throwing it in the deep part of the field. But I felt like our O-line today battled, and I felt like in the run game what we did was, you know, we had 23 for 112, all right, but you take Justin's out of there. I felt like, you know, we didn't get them enough possessions on defense. Like, I think the data would have been different from a running game standpoint had we created more possessions for them. But in the first half, we just weren't playing well enough. But I felt like we were really connected today, and I've got a lot of respect for that defense. They're really good.
Brandon, you went for it on 4th and 2 in the deep part of your field. When you have 4th and 2, is that just automatic for you guys?
It's not automatic. It's just how the game was going, time score, and then, you know, 2 is not a big deal for us. But, again, I felt like Joe Lombardi was fantastic today. Again, I can't say enough about him and our entire offensive staff. And I just felt like, you know, our guys are executing well in those got-to-have-it situations. And, you know, we needed it today. We needed it. We needed all those plays. And I'm really proud of our offensive football team today because, you know, like I said, games like this happen in the NFL. And you know, they held the rope for us today. And then on defense, we just were able to give them enough, all right, for them to finish it.
Was that drive when you guys were down 2 TDs, Justin with the keeper, but also 2 4th down conversions?
Yeah, Joe, I thought that was big because that, you know, defensively, that was kind of wind out of our sails type possession, all right? It really was. And I felt like, you know, it was just frustrating. You know, we were just off. And, you know, for our offense to respond like that was huge in the game because you know that if you don't, then time's not on your side. All right, and so I really felt like the 4th down conversion would give us some rhythm, and we were able to finish that drive with points, and then that completely flipped the momentum of the game, and now our defense is feeling better, and we were able to settle our guys in. Our guys were able to get to the bench, and what that drive does, too, is defensively it gives us more time, right, to figure things out. And I thought our coaches and players on defense did a nice job coming together, right? And keeping our heads on straight, keeping our composure. And then, in that second half, defensively, we were playing well, okay? And then we just have that silly 70-yard touchdown to that guy, which, I take full ownership for. But we were playing really well, but that drive really did a lot for us, the one you're talking about.
Decision to go for 2 there.
Just it felt like the time and score in the game, like we needed it, because that thing could have gotten away from us.
Brandon, was Asante Samuel Jr. benched, or did he have an injury?
No, we just needed to calm him down out there. Again, Asante just had a couple moments there in the first quarter where we just needed to keep his head on straight. It happens sometimes. He still played well and all that, but it's just something that young players go through. I mean, he's been fantastic for us, and he's going to continue to be. But we just wanted to settle him down. That's all.
Brandon, you talked about the run defense getting a little out of sorts, and we saw what you did last week. But are you concerned about the rush defense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not pleased with how it went today. All right, and I didn't think we played and coached well enough today. Okay, and what we got to do is tell the truth about what's happening. All right, this is the second time in a game that we've given up far too many. And what happens is that it has a real adverse effect on the team because it limits possessions for your offense. And we have to play better, and we got to coach it better for sure. It's a team operation, and we will, because we have the right type of guys in there. But definitely, that's a really good running football team, so I'm not taking anything away from them. Matter of fact, I'm tipping my cap to them because those guys can really coach over there, and they got a bunch of really good players. But we need to play better for sure if we're going to beat the teams we need to beat moving forward.
Do you have any update on O'Day?
Just it's a knee. We're making sure we're going to find out more here, after the game.